Okay, Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. Just a few days, really, before the NBA draft, and boom, the whole league gets shaken up.
A seismic shift, you could say.
Absolutely. Kevin Durant, one of the all-time greats, part of this massive blockbuster trade, really changes the landscape heading into next season. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are getting right into this huge deal, Katie, going from the Phoenix Suns to the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission here is simple. Give you this shortcut, help you understand this really bold move, why both teams pulled the trigger, and, what it means for the NBA right now and maybe down the line.
Yeah.
We've gone through the analysis, looked at pieces like Durant to Rockets, Houston's bowl championship play, and, of course, reports from guys like Shams Charania, Woj at ESPN, all the reliable sources.
Test suspects.
Exactly. So, okay, let's unpack this. How does this suddenly make the Rockets contenders, and what does it mean for everyone else?
Right. And I think what's really interesting here, beyond just the what, is the why. Why now? Why these pieces? It tells you so much about where these franchises are mentally, strategically.
It really does. Sent shockwaves, like you said.
For sure. The ripple effects are just starting.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of the deal itself. This wasn't straightforward, right? Multiple players, multiple picks involved.
Oh, yeah, definitely complex. So the headline, obviously, is Houston gets Kevin Durant from Phoenix. That's the centerpiece.
The prize they were after.
Exactly. But Phoenix, they got a serious return package.
Yeah.
We're talking Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green coming over from Houston.
Two really high upside young guys.
Very high upside. Plus, 3 unprotected first-round picks. The word is 2027, 2029, and 2031.
Unprotected. Wow.
And 2 pick swaps on top of that, likely 2028 and 2030. So, in those years, Phoenix can swap picks if Houston's is better.
That's huge leverage.
It is. Oh, and Dylan Brooks is also heading to Phoenix. Looks like via a sign and trade or maybe an extension was worked in there.
Okay, so Brooks adds that defensive edge they might need. But those picks and swaps, that really screams all in from Houston, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They're basically saying our future draft flexibility, we're betting it on winning now with Durant. It's a massive gamble. High stakes.
Really high stakes. Okay, so let's flip it. What about Phoenix? After this huge deal, what was the thinking there? This basically signals the end of that big three experiment, right? Durant, Booker, Beal.
Yeah, it's the official end. They poured a ton of money, a ton of draft capital into that, and look, it just didn't get them over the hump. No championship.
So what were they trying to achieve with this move then?
Well, it looks like 2 main things. First, that big three, just the fit wasn't quite right, wasn't it? Especially defensively, and they were thin everywhere else.
True.
So getting Sengun, who's this amazing playmaker from the center spot, loads of potential, and Jalen Green, who's just electric offensively, that gives them 2 really promising young guys on a different timeline. Helps rebalance the roster.
A younger core, potentially more sustainable?
Potentially. And second, maybe just as important, money. Financial flexibility.
Wow.
Durant's contract is huge, like over $50 million for the next 2 seasons after this one, plus a player option.
Right, that's a big number off the book.
A huge number. Shedding that gives them breathing room, cap relief, to actually build a deeper, more balanced team around Devin Booker. So it's a pivot, strategic pivot towards maybe a more traditional build. Get younger, get assets.
Okay, makes sense. But can they pull it off? That's the big question for Phoenix now, right? Finding the right pieces.
That's always the question after a move like this. Execution is key.
All right, so if Phoenix is hitting reset, what about Houston? Acquiring KD, this feels like the payoff after years of rebuilding, collecting assets.
Oh, absolutely. This is the move. It's a clear signal from everyone, ownership, GM Rafael Stone, Coach Udoka saying, okay, rebuild's over. Time to win is right now.
They already had some interesting young pieces, didn't they?
They did. Guys like Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. They even drafted Reed Shepard, that highly touted guard. Lots of promise. But they were missing that guy.
The superstar.
The proven superstar who puts you in the championship conversation immediately. Durant is that guy. Instantly.
So what's the strategy? Just plug him in and let him cook?
Well, yes and no. I mean, his scoring, his shooting, it just elevates their offense to a whole different level. Defenses have to account for him constantly.
Create space for everyone else.
Exactly. But it's also the leadership. He's won titles, been through the wars. That's huge for a young locker room, even with Van Vliet there.
Good point. Compliments Van Vliet's leadership.
Right. And the expectation now, playoffs aren't enough. They're aiming for a deep run right away. They expect to be a contender in the West.
And you mentioned Udoka. Pairing KD with a defensive coach, plus all that length they have. Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., that could be scary on both ends.
Potentially, yeah. If Udoka can integrate him effectively while still developing those young guys, it's a fascinating mix. A real two-way thread if it clicks.
Okay, let's visualize this. How do these rosters actually look now? What are the potential starting lineups for next season, 2025-26?
All right, let's start with Houston, the new-look Rockets. You've got guards like Fred VanVleet, Eamon Thompson, probably Dylan Brooks playing a key wing role now, maybe Jock Landale.
Yeah, like what's fitting in there?
Yeah, likely extended or via that sign-and trade. Then forwards, KD, obviously, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore off the bench, maybe, center. If Steven Adams is healthy and stays, he's huge for them.
Veteran presence down low.
Exactly. So a potential starting five, maybe Van Vliet at the point, Eamon Thompson at the 2, KD at the 3, Jabari Smith Jr. at the 4, and Adams at center. That lineup has incredible length, versatility, and serious scoring punch now.
That looks potent on paper. Okay, what about the Suns? What's left after the dust settles?
So for Phoenix, you still got Devin Booker, obviously. You bring in Jalen Green. Bradley Beal's still there, assuming he isn't moved in another deal. Grayson Allen provides shooting.
Still some scoring there.
Definitely scoring potential. Forwards, maybe Kevin Love sticks around. Bol, it's thinner there. Center, now you have Alperen Sengun, Drew Eubanks.
Sengun's the key piece there now.
He really is. So a potential lineup, maybe Booker and Beal sharing guard duties. Maybe Jalen Green slots in at the 3. Then you've got a big hole at power forward they have to fill.
Right, that's the next move you expect.
For sure. And then Sengun at center.
Yeah.
So Booker, Beal, Green, new PF, Sengun. They'll use that cap relief, maybe some picks to find that PF and add depth, especially defensively, still offensively dangerous. And Sengun's playmaking from the post is unique.
A very different look for both teams. So Durant, this is his 4th team now, right?
Yeah.
OKC, Seattle, Golden State, Brooklyn, Phoenix, and now Houston. Quite a journey.
It is. But look, his talent is undeniable. One of the greatest scorers, period, joining a young, hungry Houston team. It shows he still wants more championships, and he believes he can be the difference maker.
Still chasing rings.
Absolutely. And that contract, it's not insignificant. 2 years left after this current season, around $51 million, then almost $55 million, plus that player option year after. Houston is making a massive multi-year bet on him staying elite.
A huge commitment, financially and strategically. So what was the immediate fallout? The betting odds, I assume?
Oh, instant shift. Houston's championship odds got way shorter. Suddenly they're mentioned with, the Denvers, the Lakers, the top contenders in the West.
And Phoenix.
Their odds drifted out quite a bit, understandably, as they sort of retool here.
And this all happens right before the draft, too. How does that play into things?
Well, the draft is June 27th. Houston traded away a lot of future picks, but they might still had picks this year, like potentially Reed Shepherd, depending on when the trade was finalized relative to the pick. He'd be joining a loaded backcourt now.
Interesting fit.
Yeah. And you see other teams rebuilding, like Detroit making their picks. It just adds another layer. Plus, free agency is coming. Other trades will happen. You always hear names like Giannis floating around if teams underperform.
The rumor mill never stops.
Never. But this KD trade, it really redraws the map in the West. Houston's young core gets a massive boost. They're contenders now. Phoenix has to find a new path. It's a fundamental shift.
It really is a monumental deal setting us up for what should be a fascinating NBA season.
Absolutely. And I guess the big question hanging over Houston now is, they pushed all their chips in, sacrificed a lot of future flexibility for this shot right now. Will this massive gamble actually pay off with a championship? What do you think?